Right, I've gotten a little bit more done with my EC135. As you can see, I've painted up a couple of bits and pieces on the helicopter. I was quite anxious to get the right colour blue and yellow that I was going to use to paint the helicopter. I had intended to use my little air compressor there with a spray gun for to do it, but I decided to use aerosols in the end. I don't know if any of you have seen the recent Rotor World article with the guy with the Hirobo 135. When he completed his, he actually painted his up in black, which is wrong. It should have been a very dark blue colour. So as I say, I wanted to make sure that I got the right colours for mine, and as it happens, I think I have. When I had this helicopter outside, it looks black outside in the daylight, so obviously I've picked the right colours. I don't know if anyone else is thinking about doing a police helicopter, but the colours that I've used, this is a Vauxhall colour. It's called King's Blue, and the yellow up on top there for the rotor cap, that's a Fiat colour, which is called Broom Yellow. Obviously that's I've got the rest of the top of the helicopter rather to paint, you know, when I get to that point. The other bits that I've done as well, as you can see, I've got the skids painted now, and underneath there you can see the equipment pods painted as well. So that's all done. Other bits that I got done, the end of the skid bars, I didn't have any end caps for those, so I had to make those, which were relatively easy to make. I used some Play-Doh. I pressed a shape that was the right size and diameter that I needed into the Play-Doh and simply filled the Play-Doh hole up with epoxy. When the epoxy had gone off, I glued them onto the skid tubes and just sanded it to final size and shape, and then just painted over them, you know, when I painted the rest of the skids. So if we come to the inside of the helicopter anyway, and I can show you what else I've gotten done. On one of the other videos I said that I still had the woodwork to glue in place. That's now glued in place. I had one or two problems with that. When I put the woodwork in, I sort of clamped it in place with, you know, anybody doing the 135 will know that you use the 4 undercarriage bolts and the 2 on the other side also to clamp the wood in place prior to gluing it. Now for some reason when I put the tail section in, it didn't want to line up with the mechanics, so I had to sort of play around with the wood and sand a bit here and cut a bit there, but eventually I got it in anyway, so the woodwork's glued in place now. The other thing I've done is, as you can see the carb there for the petrol engine. Now on the Vario instructions it says to connect up the throttle servo linkage rod underneath the base plate. There's a little brass fitting underneath there. Oh, there would have been had I used it, which connects up to the throttle servo. Now I couldn't work out how to get mine to fit. I couldn't seem to get the right clearance for the brass fitting without cutting the base plate, which I didn't really want to do. So I know that I had a look on some of the forums and that, and some of the guys on there who's running the petrol engines, they do that conversion there that you can see where they drill the throttle arm and simply install a ball link and attach, you know, the linkage rod to the throttle servo. You can see the setup there. You can see the throttle servo down there at the back. That's just a cheap servo that I've put in. It's a Futaba 148 servo. It was just to get a little bit of running time on the engine. The engine's only ever idled. It hasn't been run up properly. Obviously the mechanics aren't finished, so I can't, you know, I can't attach the rotor blades yet. I've still got work to do on that. But that's what I got done anyway, and that conversion there on the carb seems to be working very fine. Now the other problem that I had was with the air cleaner element. You can see the 2 black screws there where the air cleaner element's meant to be. I couldn't use the air cleaner element. If I did, I couldn't get the back door open. So again, on some of the forums, there's a lot of the guys who's running these Zenoa petrol engines, they don't run the air cleaner at all, and they say that it runs fine without it. So I was pleased in a way, because obviously I need to be able to open and close the door to get access to the pull starter code, which is up inside there. You can't really see it there, but I need to get my hand up there anyway to get the engine started. Right. If we have a look in the cockpit, if you remember me saying a while ago that I got the Cine Scale cockpit for the EC135, that's now fitted up and glued in and what have you, and all the decals applied. Now when you get the cockpit set, it comes more or less in 3 pieces. The base part anyway, you've got the grey part there that you can see is the bottom piece, and then you've got this piece glues on, and that piece glues on also. when you get it, it's all just comes in white plastic. Has to be rubbed down, primed and painted. Now on mine I had loads and loads of pinholes on mine. It seemed to be the more pinholes I filled in, the more seemed to appear. But eventually I got on top of them anyway and got them filled in, which I just used a cheap car body filler, an Easy Sand car body filler for those. Applied the body filler, waited for it to go off, rub it down, prime it and painted it, and you can see that's it done there. Now in the CineScale instructions it said for to use a small light bulb inside the dashboard for to make it look like the lights are lighting up, the instruments are lighting up rather. Well, I didn't really want to do that, so what I decided to do was I just cut all the instrument dials and everything out and simply glued them onto a piece of white paper, then cut them out again and just applied them to the dashboard. And as you can see, it gives the effect of like the instruments and what have you that are lit up as well, which was particularly useful for these sort of computer screens here. You can just about make out that they look as though they're illuminated as well, but it's just the white backing paper behind them, which saved a lot of work, I think, doing it that way anyway. And they were just glued onto the dashboard using a Pritt type adhesive, something I think you use for gluing paper and stuff like that, but that was quite straightforward to do. Another thing that I had to change was the cockpit floor. The Vario woodwork that came with the fuselage, for some reason I couldn't get the finish that I wanted on that. So I decided to buy some more plywood and make a new cockpit floor. Used some sand and sealer, a few coats of that and some matte black paint, and painted the cockpit floor with that, and that's turned out okay. You can't see the grain at all on the floor, which I was really pleased about, because that was one of the finishes I was trying to achieve with the floor. The cockpit set, as well as the seats, are all removable. I wanted to make the cockpit, everything come off the fuselage floor, apart from the cyclic sticks, the cyclic stick that you can see there with the collective, and also you can just make out the pedals there. They're glued to the floor, but everything else comes off the floor. The centre console for the cockpit, that's screwed to the floor with little screws into little wooden blocks. And the dashboard is removable from the centre console as well. Well, the dashboard here is just screwed into this piece of wood here from the underside. Obviously you can't see the screws. The seats, got a pretty good idea from Darren Swales about attaching the seats to the floor. What it is there, you can just see the silver bar which runs under the back there. The two silver bars on the seats are what I've used anyway, to clamp the seat to the floor. The back one slides under that lip there, and the front one is secured with that little clip there, you can see there, which if I turn that like that, that releases the seat. The seat can then lift up and slide back. The whole seat can be removed then, and to put the seat back in, it's just a case of making sure that the bar at the back is under that piece of wood and down over the front there, and you simply slide the clip back into place like that, and that's the seat held in place, and they're very secure. The clip, incidentally, is just part of a servo arm which was shortened, and then a screw put through into the floor, just so to make the clip turn around, to release the seat. Other problem that I had with the woodwork was this Vario, the woodwork that came with the fuselage was way too big. It actually came up to about here somewhere, which was totally, just not suitable. So when I tried to cut my woodwork, I made mine too small. And I ended up with a huge gap between the bottom of the dashboard and the wood here. So what I had to do was to buy some more wood and make a new one again, which had to be fixed onto there and then onto the floor. But that's done now as well, and that's turned out okay as well. So I think that's pretty much all I can show you on this video. I've run out of time, so what I'll do is I'll do another video just to let you see the other bits and pieces that I got done. The pitot tubes, by the way, the caution stickers on the pitot tubes were just run off on the PC, cut out, glued onto some very thin double-sided tape. Then a little piece of Fablon put over the top, clear Fablon, just to protect the sticker itself. Then it was stuck onto the pitot tube, and then the whole thing just sprayed over with a couple of coats of lacquer just to hold it in place. So anyway, as I say, that's pretty much all I can show you on the EC135 on this video, but I'm going to do another video very soon to show you the rest of what else I've gotten done anyway. So I hope to speak to you soon. Cheers, bye.